Hello, friends. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of stories, legends, and traditions connected with the idea of the soul's rebirth. This topic has captured human imagination since ancient times, and what's truly remarkable is that similar beliefs can be found across nearly every continent. Each culture expressed it in its own way, but they all share one common thread: the belief that life doesn't end with a single birth, but continues in different forms. Let's begin with ancient India, where the idea of reincarnation forms the foundation of entire philosophical systems. In the Vedas and Upanishads, the endless cycle of existence, known as samsara, is described. According to these teachings, a person is born many times, and each new life is shaped by actions from the past. Indian culture preserved countless stories of people who seem to remember their previous lives. For example, there are accounts of children who insisted they had once lived in another village, naming family members from that past existence. When adults investigated, some of the details turned out to be accurate. These stories became so common in India that they formed part of the cultural memory of the people. Equally fascinating are Tibetan beliefs. Here, the most famous practice is the search for new incarnations of spiritual teachers, lamas. It is believed that after a teacher passes on, he can return in a new body. Monks then set out to find a child who shows special signs. There are well-known cases of children recognizing objects that once belonged to the previous lama or speaking about events from his life. Such stories became not only a spiritual matter, but also a political one, since the recognition of a new incarnation often granted authority within the community. Turning to ancient Egypt, we encounter a slightly different but related worldview. Egyptians believed the soul was eternal and passed through trials before reaching peace. The Book of the Dead mentions the soul's journey and even the possibility of returning in different forms. Egyptians performed rituals to ensure the soul could continue its cycle successfully. In ancient Greece, the idea of the soul's rebirth was explored by philosophers. Pythagoras claimed he could remember his past lives and spoke about who he had been in previous eras. His student Plato wrote in Phaedo and the Republic about the cycle of reincarnation as a part of nature's justice, a way for the soul to learn and purify itself. Greek myths also tell of heroes reborn after death, sometimes even as animals. Among the Celts, the belief in the eternal soul was also strong. For them, reincarnation was a natural process rather than something to fear. Warriors entered battle confidently, knowing their soul's journey would continue regardless of what happened to the body. In the ancient cultures of the Americas, similar ideas appear. The Maya and Aztecs believed the soul could return, with its path depending on how a person had lived. Gods played a role in guiding the soul either into a new cycle or into the realm of spirits. Legends also tell of shamans who were thought capable of choosing their next life or guiding others along the way. All of these stories show that reincarnation wasn't just an isolated belief, but a shared cultural heritage. It offered hope, explained the order of the world, and helped people find meaning in life's challenges. Now let's explore how ideas of rebirth appeared in other parts of the world and how they survived into modern times. In China, reincarnation entered through Buddhism, but took on a unique local form. Here, the soul was seen as part of a great cosmic harmony. People believed one could return not only as a human, but also in other forms of existence, depending on past actions. Some historical chronicles describe individuals who recalled places and events with uncanny accuracy, despite having no connection to them in their current life. In Japan, belief in reincarnation also took root, especially in Buddhist schools. Some traditions taught that the soul is reborn until it reaches enlightenment. Japanese legends include stories of children recalling past events with striking detail, sometimes involving military battles. Such cases were viewed as signs that reality was far more complex than it appeared. Across Africa, many communities continue to believe that ancestors can return in the form of newborn children. Elders often observe babies closely and sometimes claim to recognize traits of departed family members. These traditions strengthen bonds between generations and preserve respect for family history. Among Australian Aboriginal peoples, myths describe an eternal return. Spirits of ancestors were said to be reborn again and again in different forms. This belief was tied not only to human life, but also to the cycles of nature. the seasons, plants, and animals. Modern cases of past life memories are equally fascinating. Over the last decades, psychologists and researchers have gathered stories of children from India, the United States, Lebanon, Burma, and elsewhere who claim to remember former families. In many cases, their accounts match real details later verified by investigators. The most famous research was done by Professor Ian Stevenson, who dedicated decades to collecting and analyzing thousands of such cases worldwide. Today, reincarnation is seen not only as part of religion, but also as a subject of philosophy and personal reflection. For some, it offers hope of continuity. For others, it serves as a metaphor for growth and transformation. Many people see it as a symbolic way of explaining how human experience never truly disappears, but instead changes form. What's truly remarkable is how universal this idea is. From Native American tribes to Indian sages, from Greek philosophers to African shamans, we find the same thought. Life is not limited to a single existence. It flows onward, changes, and returns in new forms. Dear friends, together we've explored a mosaic of cultural views on reincarnation. We've seen how different peoples explain the mystery of the soul's journey, how legends inspired hope, and how even modern science has tried to understand this phenomenon. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this journey through cultures and stories, don't forget to support the channel and share your thoughts. Your participation helps create new exciting videos and continue the search for answers to life's deepest questions. See you next time, friends.